Everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. We had a, I mean, I thought it was a very good weekend of NFL football. Yes, week one, there's some sloppiness, there's also some upsets, so you get the good and bad. But I am going to go over my takeaways of what I thought for every single game in week one. So let's get started with that Thursday night football games with the Bills and Rams. The Rams do have an offensive line issue. Yes, Buffalo has an elite pass rush, but I noticed not having, like Andrew Whitworth, the left tackle from last year, retired. Now the center's out for a couple weeks, so there's going to be some issues there for the Rams to kind of figure out. Also, the Rams, shouldn't have let Von Miller go. Yes, you don't want to overpay for him. I admit that, but as you saw, I mean, there's the Rams don't have that elite pass rusher, and because they don't have that elite pass rusher, it makes guarding Aaron and Donald a little bit easier. Um, Donald's not as free to wreak havoc. And then on offense, it's like, well, Stafford and Allen Robinson, who's that big wide receiver acquisition, to kind of help take the load off Cooper Kupp. It's like, well, he didn't do anything, and not his fault. Stafford didn't really target him at all. But they both kind of need to get in sync there in order for the offense to be as good as it can be. Just because Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, connection again, like that's good and all, but it's not gonna get you over the top if you can't throw to receivers. That's why, the value of having OBJ last year, was huge. Um, Now because NFC is still weak, Rams are. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom for the Rams quite yet, but they definitely do have stuff to work on. Next, you got the Saints versus the Falcons. Falcons once again blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Shocking. How many times do we have to hear that? Now, I will say, while I did, pick the Saints to win easily in the beginning of the season, it's an in-division game, for some reason, those games kind of go weird, whether the team's good or not. And for some reason, the Saints struggle against running quarterbacks. They struggle with Hurts, and now they're struggling with Mariota. For some reason, they just struggle in that department. But the defense will be better. I'm not worried about them. Offense, it basically comes down to their offense line. The first three quarters, offensive line was trash. Therefore, they couldn't do anything. But then, as soon as the offensive line was good in the fourth quarter, bam, 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 score, 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 score. Like so. Chris Olave was, good, drafty. Jarvis Landry's a great acquisition. Who knew he had over 100 yards, and then Michael Thomas is back, with the two touchdowns. Taysom Hill's good. So it's like, if the offensive line can just perform like that, consistently, then the Saints are going to be the team to beat. But, like, obviously, if they're, like, in the first half, then it's like, okay, they're going to lose to anyone. So it just kind of depends on how they are. 49ers versus Bears. I do agree playing in tough weather conditions is not ideal for Trey Lance or any quarterback for that matter, but this was my concern going into the season. With Lance being raw and not having a lot of playing experience, there will be some inconsistencies, and now we saw that in this game. I don't get why a lot of people are like, oh, 49ers are going to be back in the NFC Championship game. It's like, no, no. I mean, not with Trey Lance. No, it's like there's just too much inconsistency there. Bears fans enjoy this win, but it won't happen a lot this season. Steelers versus Bengals. This game was not Burrow's finest hour, or Zach Taylor's finest hour, or even the kicker's finest hour, or the long snapper. But with Stars, sitting out and Burrow, especially coming off, to have his appendix taken out, I knew there'd be some rust there, and sure enough, there was. And T. Higgins, the wide receiver for the Bengals, the second guy is not, it's not great that he got injured as well. But to me, the Bengals will be fine. Now the Steelers, they're lucky that T.J. Watt's only out 6 weeks now for the full season, but Pittsburgh, show their colors here as well. It's like, the coaching staff doesn't, you know, want Mitchell Trubisky to do anything to screw things up, so they have to rely on their defense getting pick sixes and crucial sacks and interceptions to win the game. So it'll be interesting to see how they look going forward. Eagles versus Rams. Eagles versus Lions. AJ Brown, man, he's going to war with Hurts, all right. I rarely, he had a couple of good games back when he was at the Titans, but I rarely saw that dominating game like he just had with the Eagles here in Jalen Hurts. And this is how the Eagles offense is going to look, and they're going to be scoring a lot of points this year. Patriots. Oh, by the way, I did warn you guys. Well, Detroit's not going to be in the playoffs or anything, or probably not even going to be above 500. Their offense is going to look way better, and sure, that was the case. Despite Jared Goff's the quarterback, and not someone better. Um, Patriots versus Dolphins. I know Miami has a solid defense, but this is what I was afraid of, and I've been trying to warn y'all with the Patriots offense. I think this is just not a week one issue. It's what you'll see on offense going forward. Also, since one touchdown was a scoop and score for Miami, and the other touchdown was due to a bad execution slash tackling error. It's like Miami's offense, would have scored just 13 points or whatever. It's like they didn't look great either. So we'll see if that's a week one issue or something going forward. Like I think potentially could be, with two as the quarterback. Ravens Jets, nothing to discuss much here. Joe Flacco, fortunately, couldn't show up his old team, and the Jets just have to hope that Wilson can come back for that Steelers game in a couple weeks. Jaguars versus Commanders. The Jaguars should have won this game. I'll admit that, but what this game showed me is that the Jaguars still have to build and kind of learn to get more of that, become more of that, consistent clutch team. That they can finally get over the hump, get the job done. I'm not sure why people thought they were playoff contenders. I don't think that, but yes, they do have some spark there, and they definitely look better than last year. I will say that. Browns versus Panthers. Baker Mayfield, doesn't get revenge against his former team. Luckily for the Browns, they have a legit kicker that could help save them some games this year. I still don't think the Browns will win a lot of games with Jacoby Brissett. I'm not. That doesn't change my overall view about them, but definitely doesn't help. Because since I predicted they were going to lose this game, it definitely helps that they get at least a win here. Colts versus Texans. For some reason, the Colts just came out. They just come out flat in season openers. I don't get why, but just that's what it's been like the past few years. Um, the Colts did figure out that hey, less Matt Ryan and more Jonathan Taylor is the way to go. Now that's not going to be the case every single game. Depends on the matchup, but in this case, it's the way to go, and I hope they, learn from that and move on. Next is the Giants versus the Titans. Being aggressive doesn't always work, but in this case it is. Brian Dable, went for a 2-point conversion and got it. And this is part of the reason why I thought the Titans would take a step back this year. It's like Derrick Henry's not going to be the Derrick Henry 2 years ago. They lost A.J. Brown. They don't have that legit top wide receiver, to help out a mediocre quarterback Ryan Tannehill. Now, the Giants side, don't get fooled by them just yet. Yes, Saquon Barkley saved them, but they can't keep behind Daniel Jones every game. So we'll see how the Giants look going forward there. We got the Packers and the Vikings. As I predicted, especially to start the season, the Packers offense was going to be rough because of all the new wide receivers and the lack of a number one target for Aaron Rodgers. And as I also said, you got to watch out for the Vikings, at least in the regular season. This offense, it's a McVay offense, so it's going to make Kirk Cousins look more respectable. And as you saw on Sunday, it might make Justin Jefferson the new Cooper Kupp. Chiefs versus Cardinals. Cardinals, did have some injuries. No J.J. Watt, for example, and obviously no Hawkins because of his 6-game suspension. But the fact that they came out that flat at home for the opener shows they got some things they didn't work on, like film study, if they really want to take advantage of a weak NFC. Raiders versus Chargers, as I predicted. While the Raiders have weapons galore, the offensive line will be an issue this season. As for the Chargers, they looked good, but with wide receiver Keenan Allen not being 100% now, that might affect them in the short term if he has to sit out a few games. Buccaneers versus Cowboys. Whether Dak gets hurt or not, this Cowboys team just has too many injuries, lost too many players in the offseason, and it's just not that good. McCarthy's hot seat just got more, in my opinion. As far as the Bucs go, while their defense is legit as expected, I wanted people to realize that the offensive line injuries will be concerned, and certain if I was right, the offensive line didn't look great, and then Donovan Smith, left tackle for the Bucs gets hurt and is going to be out, so that's for a few games at least. That makes it even worse, So we'll see how the Bucs can overcome that. And then last but not least, for the Broncos and Seahawks, Russell Wilson's return to Seattle was spoiled by bad coaching. Now, of course, some players have fault too. Like you shouldn't fumble at the 1-yard line twice. Like that's just unacceptable. But Coach Nathaniel Hackett has some growing up and learning to do, and it quickly if Denver wants to have the magical season that they're capable of. As far as Seattle goes, don't be fooled by them. Kind of like the Giants, don't be fooled by them. They'll Seattle will be one of the bottom 5 teams in the league this year. So now I'm going to go over my Week 2 NFL predictions. So we got the Chargers and Chiefs for Thursday Night Football. Chiefs are favored by 4. I'm going to take the Chiefs here just because, again, with Keenan Allen potentially being out for the Chargers, I feel like that's going to hinder them in some regard. And as we saw, even though the Chargers' offense looked good, defense looked good at times, like there were some spells where they were unstoppable, but there were other spells where they just couldn't do anything, So I feel like the Chiefs at home can get it done. Being in favor by 4 seems like exactly right. I'm kind of like winning by like 4 points, Next, you got the Jets and Browns. Browns are favored by 6. I'll take the Browns to win here and cover, in my opinion. It'll be a lower scoring game, like a 21-10 type of game, but I'd take the Browns to win and cover. No explanation there. Jets are not going to do anything with Joe Flacco. Next, we got the Commanders and Lions. Lions are favored by 2.5. This one's very interesting. I feel like this could be like the Eagles Lions game, Eagles Lions games of last week. Just both teams are trading punches. A lot of scoring in this game. I feel like this time the Lions will come out top and end and win by like a field goal, and both teams will score at least 30 plus, in my opinion. Next, you get the Buccaneers versus the Saints. Buccaneers are 3-point favorites here. I'm going to go with the Saints to get the upset here. As we know, Saints, have their way with Tom Brady in the regular season, but especially with like now more than ever, like they were destroying the Buccaneers online back when they were healthy, but now they're not healthy and they have all those issues. I imagine, and with Tom Brady not being a mobile quarterback, unlike Mario Hurts, like I feel like the Saints defense is just going to eat up Tom Brady. Now, of course, the Saints' offensive line showed their struggles of their own, which Buccaneers could easily exploit. So I expect this a low-scoring game, but the Saints winning by a field like a 13-10 type of game. Next, you get the Panthers versus the Giants. Giants are favored 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Panthers here because while they had a bad first half, they showed me something in the second half that can kind of get them rolling. Especially against teams that are on the same level, if not worse than them. So I feel like that, especially since the Panthers should have won last week. I feel like they're going to get their revenge and win here by like 1 point. At a very close game. Patriots Steelers. This is kind of a coin flip type of game because like the Patriots offense sucks, the Steelers offense sucks. No T.J. Watt for the Steelers. It's like Mac Jones back, probably will play even 100 cents. Like I don't know what to think here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Steelers here by 2 in a low scoring game, like a 12-10 type of game. Colts versus Jaguars. This would be Colts favored by 4. This would be a close game, in my opinion. But I feel like the Colts figured something out, at the end of the Texas game that you can use for the Jaguars game, so that wouldn't be like a field goal, 24-21 type of game. Dolphins Ravens is again a close game here. This is going to be more of a defensive type of game here. But in the end, I'm just going to go with the better quarterback here, Lamar Jackson, to get the job done at home. So I have them winning 17-13. Falcons Rams. Rams are favored by 10.5. I expect that to go under for the Falcons. I'll take the Rams here to win, of course, but I'll take the Falcons as far as the points there go. And I'll have Rams win by just a touchdown, like 20-13. Again, just the offensive line issues concern me for the Rams right at this moment. And the Falcons, played really well in week 1. Seahawks for 49ers. 49ers for 5. Again, I'll take the 49ers to win, but take the under there just because Trey Lance, I'm not sure what I'm getting with him. Bengals versus Cowboys. Bengals for 8.5. I'll take them to win and cover because of Cooper Rush tournament the Cowboys. Texans Broncos. Broncos for 8 by 10. I'm not sure if they'll exactly cover the 10. It'll be close to covering the 10, but I have the Broncos winning for sure at home and them kind of steering the ship, from last week. I had them win by 23-14, something like that. Next, you got the Cardinals Raiders. Raiders for 6. I have them winning at home, but not only winning, but also covering. I feel like they could potentially win by double digits here. Again, just because I don't like what I saw from Arizona's defense in week 1. Bears Packers for Sunday football game. I'll go and take the Packers here. I'm not sure if they'll cover the 10-point spread, but I do think the Packers, can use the Steelers ship against a Chicago team where the Packers defense should just destroy Chicago's online. Then we got 2 Monday Night Football games. We got the Titans and Bills. Bills are favored by 10. I have them winning and also covering because, again, I just feel like Tennessee against this Bills defense is not going to be able to do much. They can contain Derrick Henry, and then there's not a lot of weapons for Tannehill to use. I feel like Bills can exploit that. And then with the Vikings Eagles, this will be a very good game. This will be one of the best games of the week, in my opinion. Eagles favored by 2 here. I know they're at home. I'm going to go ahead and go with Minnesota here for the upset. Again, a close game. I have like a 28-24 type game. It should be a very good, exciting game here. So that's, my predictions for the week. Again, to review, I have the Chiefs cover or not. I'm not sure. Browns win and cover. Lions win. Cover, I'm not sure. Buccaneers don't win, so they don't cover. I have the Saints winning there. Panthers, Giants don't cover and don't win. Panthers win there. Steelers, Patriots don't win, don't cover. Steelers win. Colts win, not sure if they cover or not, maybe not. Ravens win, not sure if they cover or not. Rams win, don't cover. 49ers win, don't cover. Bengals win and do cover. Broncos win, maybe not cover. Raiders win and cover. Packers win, maybe not cover. Bills win and cover, and then Eagles, don't win or cover because either way gets winning. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel, turn on the value. Thank you very much, and hopefully y'all have another wonderful weekend of NFL football.